Before we begin, thank you very much to Evelyn M for pitching in over on Ko-fi. Thank you very much for the direct contribution to the channel. Always appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm giving everyone one last warning here. Because I am going away next week, I'm going to have to start pre-recording videos in advance for my time away. That will begin tonight. So I'm not going to have enough shout outs to do for all of this next week. So yeah, there's no stopping that, by the way. So I'm glad everyone got this to like, it's been like a month of like straight Ko-fi shout outs. And I appreciate everyone for making the gag and running with it. But this is where it's got to calm down. This is where it's got to go. This is where it's got to go down. Cause like, I literally cannot keep this up. It will die next week. But thank you for getting it this far. I do appreciate all the generosity and the support. Now we need to discuss. So it's news roundup time. It is Monday. Time to catch you up on everything you missed in the world of Transformers throughout the week. We are starting with the announcement of Lego Soundwave. Now we knew this was coming. We pretty much had like all the rumors. I don't think anyone expected it to look this good. Now, obviously, there's going to be some limitations to it, and there's some good photos here, so we're going to show it. But this thing turned out way better than I anticipated. This thing is really impressive. Now, we've speculated in the past that, yeah, Soundwave would make a really good option for Lego because he's so blocky. Like, he's going to work really well with Lego aesthetic, and his transformation's pretty simple. And yeah, all those things kind of contribute to Soundwave being just a really good transforming Lego set. Oh, but they went further. They went further. I'm super happy that they did. So the press photos look great. Yes, Ravage and Laserbeak both being able to transform is a brilliant thing. I didn't really think that would work. I assumed that we would get Ravage and Laserbeak cassettes, or at the very least Laserbeak. I genuinely did not expect them to also be able to functionally transform. That's actually really cool. And yeah, like I've seen some of like the internal mechanisms to make some of this work. It's really impressive. Like his leg assembly there, like the internal details, that's all like double hinge and folded contraptions to make room for his thighs during transformation. It's really impressive. Like this thing just looks really good at all angles. And all the early previews have like really been enjoying him. The one thing about the early previews that I have been privy to, they all have the same complaint of the wrists being really loose. That's unfortunate, but then again, I'm sure some Lego head could figure out how to modify that to make that work. Some criticism toward Ravage's cassette mode not really looking as solid, but you know, then again, it has to transform into a quadruped, so give it a rest. Not even a bad looking quadruped. And one of the other grievances was the fact that because he comes with a little Soundwave to scale better with like the other Transformers in robot mode, his nameplate is different than the others, but that's just a few black bricks. Like that's not a big deal to fix. So minor complaints all around, I think. My only issue with him would be how thin his arms look. I think they could have made those arms a little bit bulkier. Especially because they just kind of go behind him in cassette player mode. Like they're not structurally required. Like they are not doing heavy lifting or like have any like requirements. They just fold behind him. So they could have been a lot thicker and been better proportioned. The one thing I do like here is the sound brick. So if you look at the preview videos that Lego posted, he actually has a lot of sound effects. A lot. A couple of original lines, but mostly like a lot of familiar sound effects, and then a lot of quotes that are familiar. And not just like Soundwave superior, that's easy. All talk, no shock, which was his taunt toward Blaster. I love that line. It's in there, and I'm thrilled that they didn't just stick to like the normal phrases. So yeah, this thing is as big as the Optimus Prime, so it is a costly model. So yeah, here, let me get back to a picture of the box. So yeah, 1,500 pieces. The usual rule with Lego is 10 cents a brick, but this is a transforming Lego set. You're dealing with multiple models, you're dealing with the engineering to make it transform, and you are dealing with the sound brick. All of that brings us up to like $180, which, you know what? Okay, a little more expensive than Optimus, but given all it does, I think that's fair. This does not seem like a bad deal for me. It's coming out August 1st. I keep staring at Bumblebee, and it's always feels like the wrong time to buy Bumblebee. But I'll get it eventually just for the sake of having the trio, and I'll definitely be getting this one as soon as the bank account allows it. I got to recover from MetroCon next week first. But let's move on to some of the other stories. I almost did a whole video just for Lego Soundwave. I think it's that cool. Here's something that's really cool. We've been waiting for a long time. Hasbro is starting to send out emails to everybody who complained about breaks on their RID 2001 Omega Prime HasLab figure. Good news, your replacement corrected figure only, not a full replacement product, is already on back order, so there's nothing more you need to do. Once your new figure is ready to ship, estimated fall 2025, we'll send you an email with tracking details. And don't worry, there's no need to return your current figure. We're sending the corrected one your way to ensure Omega Prime looks just as legendary as he should. So this does so much. Number one, finally, we have an answer. Now, I told you before, I've been pushing this. People get down on Hasbro for how long it took them to say this, but they genuinely needed to get all of the Omega Primes out in the world to know how many needed to be replaced. There was no avoiding that. It had to be done. So now that they are distributed, now they have an idea of how many replacements they need. Now we're actually getting the actual, answer that from Hasbro. And it's the best possible scenario for us, the fans. They are going to eat a tremendous cost loss on this toy set to make this right. They are sending you a base Optimus Prime, probably not the armor accessories, but they're just sending you the base Optimus Prime, fully fixed and replaced, and you do not have to send back your original. That means the one worry I had about doing the fixes, i.e., if they send you replacement parts or ask you to send it in for replacement and repair, they are not going to be, they will not take into account your adjustments, which might end up breaking it further. No, they're just sending a corrected figure to everybody who needs one, which is great. And then that does mean that there's going to be a lot of just base RID 2001 Optimus Primes out there on the aftermarket. That's just going to be how this is going to be a super weird release as a result. And I'm sure someone's going to 3D print like armor for all the extra bodies, just so people who buy the individual spare ones will be able to make like fire convoy and all that. But it does mean that no matter what you did to your replacement, no matter what you did to your original, no matter what fix you did, you can just enjoy it right now. And truth be told, I'm probably going to break mine out. I put mine right back in the box. It's been in the box for months now. I'm probably going to break mine out, do a fix, and then just enjoy it as is. Fortunately, my break was not major. I haven't looked inside yet to find out. But I'm going to wait until Hasbro sends me my email address, my email confirming this, because I sent them a photo. I sent them pictures like mine's broken. What are we going to do about this? And I was given that second email, the one like, hang tight, we'll let you know when we figure it out. Well, once they send me that email, I'm probably going to goof around with mine. But no, this is the best thing they could have done. So we don't have to repair ours. We don't have to worry about repairs that we've already done. We're just going to get, we don't even have to mail anything in. We're just going to sit back and wait for the correct one to come in. That's the right call. Good on Hasbro. That's the correct fix. We now have confirmation that the roleplay toy that is in the leaked listings for Generation Studio Series is going to be in 86 Matrix. Called that. Now, at some point this week, we're going to be discussing this. I'm going to give you like the rundown of exactly how the 86 Matrix toy needs to be done, my perfect version of it. But suffice to say, This needs to be really, really solid. I need this to be like the definitive Matrix. Keep in mind, Hasbro themselves have never produced a toy Matrix of leadership. They have always left it to their licensed partners. This is going to be the first attempt by them. So this needs to go all out. This needs to be exactly what you had always wanted. You know, you need to feel like a kid again when you mess with this. You need to feel like you are Rodimus Prime. I am very excited for this. Really looking forward to seeing what they do. And yeah, like I said, later on this week, we'll probably be doing a video on exactly what it needs to be. Studio Series Starscream from Transformers 1 is now out in the wild. I should be receiving mine tomorrow. It's probably going to be part of the reviews I will be posting next week while I'm away. However, this one's come up in a lot of discussions. We've already brought this up in the channel. Also, shout out to MGo for getting this and reviewing it early. But yeah, it's down to that face. He has handsome Squidward face. I don't understand why. He has collagen lips. Like, I don't know why the sculpt on this is so awful. Oh my god, this I don't do third-party upgrade kits, but this is one where I'm like, no, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Someone, anyone, make me a new face. Make me a new Starscream head. I don't want to look at those lips. I don't want to look at those lips. It's like someone at the factory, like, screwed up the mold process and panicked instead of, like, he didn't want to get fired. So he just kind of, like, carved new lips, carved a new mouth into the mold. And that's what it turned out to be. It's ugly. It's bad. It's very, very wrong. The toy itself looks good. It looks like a very nice miniaturization of, like, the traditional Tetrajet form. Yeah, and it's got, like, there's little elements. Like, I like how the shoulders are wide, or a little bit beefier with the guns mounted. It's like a little bit of shades of Cybertron Starscream, which is always going to make me happy. But he does look good. I think he's the right size compared to everybody else that's been released in this line. Yeah, it's a nice figure. It's a nice looking figure. I'm looking forward to getting mine. And there's the jet mode. The jet mode looks really, really nice. Yeah, apparently it's got that weird gun on the other side because they based it off of the Cybertronian jets from Transformer Bumblebee. So that makes sense. That explains why it's there. It is a removable accessory, so if you don't like it, you don't need to keep it there, and it can just look very Tetrajet instead. Yeah, it's a nice overall figure. I am absolutely looking forward to getting mine in, and then eventually replacing the face. Now, in all this LEGO Soundwave excitement, don't forget the Autobot boy. So they've announced that there's going to be a reissue of 86 Blaster, which is interesting because I feel like everyone had a chance to get this toy. I mean, granted, it came out first as part of Kingdom, and the Kingdom, it bled over into the second wave, into the first wave of Legacy Leaders. So you did have you did a longer production run to get a hold of this toy the first time. But the 86 one, I can kind of see where that one just came and went and everyone missed it. So good on Hasbro. This is not a bad one to reissue. Especially considering, you know, Ramhorn and, well, I guess that's it. I guess that's it. Ramhorn is on the way. So not a bad time to give it another shot. Yeah, I'm happy for those who missed out on the first time because the aftermarket on some of these is stupid. We did a whole video already this week, last week, I guess. We did a whole video going over the new Cyberworld episodes. Episode 1 and 2 are available in one episode, one video on YouTube. If you missed it, I would suggest going and watching it for yourself. It is much more of a kid's cartoon than, you know, some of the things I know you out there would want, but it's not a bad watch. It's not too cringy because the Bumblebee is very Transformers 1 Bumblebee, but it's not a bad watch. It's better than I expected it to be. Now, the downside to me being away next week is the fact that Comic-Con is going to be going on, meaning that a lot of the stuff that is going to be announced for Transformers, I'm not going to be able to talk about until I get back. So, yeah, next week is going to be automated videos, and the week after that, you'll get a news roundup on Monday because I'll be home on Monday, and then Tuesday we'll have to do all the Comic-Con talk. So it's going to be a little bit ice cold, but I always make sure to do it. But for those who do want to know what's going on, so Daniel Warren Johnson is going to be talking and doing a panel because he's just going to be fresh off of his Transformers run. So he'll be a good one to talk about. And Image Comics in general going to be doing one. Let's see, we have the Cartoon Voices panel, which is going to include Greg Berger, Grimlock himself, as well as Benny Latham from Transformers Earthspark. See, we also have Daniel Warren Johnson appearing for a Transformers and G.I. Joe Energon Universe panel, as well as Robert Kirkman. Animated showrunner panel is going to include Nicole Dubek from Transformers Earthspark. Friday, obviously, is the Transformers Hasbro panel, so yeah, I'm gonna have to sit on those opinions for a long time. I don't like that. But we're also gonna have panels that include the writer behind the Transformers Worst Spot Ever comic, which is actually it's a really big issue. Really big. Yeah, and then actually John Bailey, an old friend of mine, is also going to be on one of the panels at Comic-Con. Good on him. Very proud of what he's come up with. Robert Kirkman's got his own panel as well. Skybound's going to have their own panels throughout the weekend. So, yeah, it's a lot of Transformers coverage if you're looking in the right places for it. Okay. So, the Lego Minifig Factory website now has Transformers-themed prints available. You can get, more than meets the eye tampoed onto a shirt, as well as a few other things. Like you have an Allspark, which is very animated-esque. We have Autobot and Decepticon logos, of course. The You Have Been Deceived is a fun one to throw in. You get Megatron, you get Soundwave. Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. If you want a Lego minifig that is customized, a little bit of Transformer stuff, you can make that now. Unfortunately, the way this system works, you cannot have a black base body. You have to just get like a full front print black if you want it to look like he has a black shirt, and then the sleeves are going to be white no matter what. It's the only grievance I have. Otherwise, I would have made a TJOmega for a while, because guess what? I usually wear a black logo shirt. I don't have any white logo shirts to make a Lego out of me. Ah, well. But you can make a Lego out of you with a little bit of Transformer flair now. Blockies put up listings for their next wave of stuff. So for the Defenders, the smaller guys, Grimlock, Hot Rod, Scourge, Blitzwing, the Blue Rumble, Shockwave, Hound, Shatterglass, Megatron, Starscream, and then for alt modes, Starscream, Wheeljack, Rodimus Prime, which will be fun, and then Brawl. So apparently the same, I'm guessing the same way they did the Constructicons that were all individually released in vehicle mode, so you could combine them into Devastator. Looks like they might be doing Bruticus next. And then for version 8, wave 8 of the Blockies, we're getting a new Optimus Prime, we're getting Rodimus Prime, Shrapnel, Sludge in both Dinobot and Robot mode to complete the Dinobots, Unicron's head, which is an interesting one, Sharkticon, Metroplex, gonna be weird to see him at tiny scale, and then, yeah, another Blitzwing. So Blitzwing's going to get a small and a large. We've talked about Blockies a bunch in the past. I do really enjoy both the Defender and the Galaxy version series. I really like these. Probably not going to be reviewing them anymore, but I do want to get my hands on these because I've got so many already. I kind of want the whole army. And then for their larger sets, looks like they'll be doing movie Jetwing Optimus Prime. So, your Revenge of the Fallen final scene, that's probably going to be a pretty big kit. And then Megatronus Prime from Transformers 1, which is kind of fascinating that, that they would do a character who didn't even have any voice lines in the movie. But could be cool. Could be cool. It's a unique design, at least. Yeah, a lot from Blockies. Okay, so for you Rise of the Beast fans, Eddie Del Rio, one of the artists for the movie, has put up a whole bunch of concept images. Here's one of the original takes on Scourge. Further takes, we're starting to get more humanistic face going in. Here's a little bit closer to final design as well. Yeah, canon designs. Yeah, so just kind of cool behind the scenes sketch stuff. It's also interesting to see like Mirage with more like a more universal face, I would assume, because it's it's symmetric, whereas like they went with like this really odd like heavy on one side head thing. And then we get a few things that were cut from the movie completely because we were supposed to get more Predacons than just Scorponok. And ultimately, I'm kind of glad they left all the rest of these out because they didn't. Yeah, Scorponox didn't get treated very well in the movie. But they designed a Waspinator. Waspinator becoming a movie character would have been wild. Spitor, weirdly enough, had a design where you see a very big mechanical frog in his chest. Ramhorn, really, from Tripredacus would get one. Kind of cool to see, but weird to know how close we were to getting some very, very random bug Predacons. Well, I guess Spitor is a frog, but you know. Would have been cool. Cool little what if thing. Okay, so if you're playing PUBG Mobile and you've been waiting for the Transformer crossover, there's now full trailers available showing the in full experience. If you missed it before, they basically act as vehicles that you can find and pilot on the map and then drive them in their vehicle modes and fight with them in mech mode. So nothing terribly game breaking or anything. It's mostly just akin to like Fortnite adding in some kind of like rare variant weapon that, a few people get to dominate for a short time. It does look like they've got a few other little things in mind for the crossover as well. So I'm not a PUBG player. I'm certainly not a PUBG Mobile player, so this one will pass me by, but cool for the people who are playing. Doesn't look like a bad crossover. And let's wrap it up for the week. Kujo Cole is doing a new lottery giveaway, so they have a lot of new Beast Wars items. Pretty cheap tickets, pretty brief sales period, 1 month to get a hold of these. This runs pretty much like any of your like lottery stuff. So every 5 purchases, you see 1 random sticker. Your D level prize is a Scene Square badge. Your C prize is a Clear File 2-pack, which is like your clear folder. They love those over there. Your Beast Wars Scenes acrylic stand, which is great. Full acrylic stand, robot and beast mode. That's great. Oh, and the lucky few, 2% chance to win. You get a full Beast Convoy t-shirt right here. That's a really nice t-shirt. I realize that's the back design. I don't like back design t-shirts. I like front design t-shirts. So I don't have to worry too much about not being able to get a hold of these. The rest just seems like the stock CG artwork that they always show off, just done up in acrylic standee form. So yeah, pretty cool if you like your Beast Wars characters. Oh, and I like these scene things here. That's kind of cool. I wish it was a little bit more coherent here, because like, okay, 3 shots of Transmetal Rat Trap, okay, and here's Transmetal 2 with Optimus, and then just it's not Transmetal 2, it's Optimal. Get the point. I don't know, this seems cool, but it really feels like they could have done something a little bit more clever with it. Yeah, it's a neat little scene thing though. What else we got here? Okay, so there's your clear files. Nothing too extravagant, just, simple characters on plastic folders, and your little square patches. Just screenshots from the episodes, not too big of a deal, because those are the low rank prizes. I guess maximal and logo stickers for those who purchase at least 5 of these raffles. So if you're in Japan, if you have the opportunity to grab a hold of these, then congratulations. This is stuff that will likely not leak into the hands of American collectors, because this is short run, very weirdly released. But good luck to anyone who can take a stab at it. And that's going to be our news roundup for the week. We had a lot to talk about, and next week is Comic-Con, so might be a slow news roundup next Monday, because they might be holding everything back until Friday at Comic-Con. And then, of course, as mentioned, we'll be talking about that once I get back. So, for now, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday / early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.